All right. Well, welcome to our first stab at technology. We've spent the last couple of days setting up our studio with mics
Wires
and
and cords.
and cables and sound bars and it's just one piece of software. It's not compatible, so we're just gonna unplug and go back to our normal headset. So, can everyone hear us all right? We have number of participants here. That's great. Good to see you. Welcome aboard. And we're going to spend the next 20 minutes talking a little bit about compact UVC and the need for it. I'm Brian Donohue. To my left is Jess Hartman. He's going to be doing the majority of the talking today. Don't be nervous.
Yep.
Yeah,
Corporate accounts manager here at Finsen.
yeah. We're gonna go through a quick PowerPoint, right?
Yeah.
I try not to belabor these
We'll run
things.
through it. Yeah.
What we're going to talk about today is pathogens. This is one in a series of conversations we've had here at Finsen about what we call the Cheetos effect. If you give somebody a bag of Cheetos, by the end of the day, you'll know what they have touched. And so our philosophy is to break down that whole chain of pathogens, Jess. And it starts with not just the pathogen, but the mode of exit, the mode of entry. And when you look at some of the markets that we play in healthcare particularly, there's some pathogens. It's almost like I heard someone say it's like you go to a hospital to get sick. There's so many sick people there, and there's so many uh, ways to contaminate different rooms and cross contaminate, and a lot of it is done with the hands. Some of it is done in the air.
Well, that's our whole goal here, is it not? Something we always talk about is antimicrobial stewardship, and really what that is stopping the spread of disease, the chain of reaction um, from one person, from one susceptible person to another. That's our goal here at Finsen Tech with all the UVC solutions we have.
And what we're going to do is talk a little bit about our newest edition today. We call it Hermes. Tristan, who's on our call today, actually named it. And Tristan, if you want to tell us the story of how you came up with Hermes and why, I'll load up the PowerPoint.
Okay, Brian, thank you. Essentially, all of our products are biased on innovation, and essentially they're designed to solve a problem that there is no existing solution for. And historically, in culture and the human race, when you don't have a solution to a problem, who do you ask? You ask the gods. So all of our products are named after gods of various broad cultures. We've got Norse gods, we've got Greek gods, and Hermes was originally intended, although its scope has broadened, to be used for vehicle disinfection. And obviously Hermes being the god of motion, transport, and everything like that, that was a very suitable name. And it fits into the pantheon of our products very, very nicely.
Okay. Well, so Hermes, we first started off with Hermes, and we were looking almost exclusively at vehicles, weren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Came up with the idea of when we were working with some of our corrections and law enforcement partners. When you take somebody out of a squad car, you never know what they leave behind, do you, Jess?
No, you don't. And that's, I think, the whole point of it is, smell homelessness, all the things that they can bring into a facility. So how do you stop that spread? Protecting not only your visitors but also your staff, people who, if they go down,
Yeah,
it's difficult to replace and
yeah.
fill.
And eventually, when you go home and you kiss your daughter goodnight, I have children myself, and I'm a grandfather, and it breaks my heart when I find out that my kid or my grandson is sick or has norovirus because they got that from somebody else, and that somebody else had it, and they got it from somebody else, and it all got spread, innocently enough at daycare. So we're
Go
going
a
to go.
step further. If you have your child going to get daycare, eventually it gets passed to the parent, who
That's
then
right.
can't go into work. Absenteeism becomes an issue.
And you're talking about hundreds of missing days across industries, millions of dollars lost in industry. So some of the challenges are out there, Jess.
Sorry to
There's
interrupt.
people that know they're sick, and there's people that may not know they're sick, but we have to protect against everything. That's kind of the charge of universal precautions.
Mm-hmm. Another piece here is, traditional methods of cleaning can miss spots. Not everything's perfect. I tend to say something called the Z wipe. When you break it down like that, you miss 50%. So that's the point of having our UV solutions, is to get behind those missing spots, hard to reach spots.
So before we take another step, we have a solution here. We're gonna do a quick demo. But ultraviolet light, for anyone that hasn't heard this, ultraviolet light is actually produced by the sun, but it's filtered by the ozone layer. So we have to artificially produce ultraviolet light on the Earth's surfaces. And what does ultraviolet light do? Well, first of all, it's invisible, but second, it breaks down pathogens at sort of the DNA level. And when it does that, it breaks these DNA helixes apart, and it renders these pathogens sort of unable to spread any further. What we also found is that it breaks down anything that's organic, including odors and the smell of marijuana and urine and some of the other things that you experience in that law enforcement and prisons. But furthermore, when we started launching this product, we saw all these other applications. We can use it in the shower to eliminate mildew. You can use it on a toilet seat to disinfect a long-term care facility.
Well, I think that's where the name got kind of switched, and we moved into compact spaces, UVC compact Hermes,
instead of the vehicle.
Instead of just vehicles, because we found so many applications that are outside of just a vehicle.
And taking that Cheetos effect, if you notice up on the screen, we have these blue lights. They actually do sell this is called Glow Germ. You squeeze a dime size amount onto your palms and hands, and you rub it into your hands like this. And then you go about your day and you touch things. And then hopefully at the end of the night, when the cleaning staff comes in, they will wipe all this stuff down. And the way you can audit it is with a blue light like this. So this blue light will then shine a light on this Glow Germ stuff. So it's a nice way to audit it. That's kind of what we've done here in this office with our couch and our windows.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is UVC is not going to clean or wipe that off. So the Cheetos effect is nice. It's a nice visual, but what UVC will do, it'll disinfect those pathogens that are in those fingerprints,
inactivate them,
but it won't actually remove the soiling. If that
mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So moving right along here, we talked a little bit about absenteeism, but imagine the other unpleasantries. I love me some Indian food,
mm-hmm.
but you can always tell when someone's popping popcorn in the workplace, or the next door. I was just teasing Jess. It smells like Jess's lunchroom back there because of the microwave.
Yep.
Am I right?
Yep.
So one of the things that our UVC can do is remove odors. It breaks them down, and but more importantly, it's the pathogens that make people sick is
mm-hmm.
what we're looking to do.
The other piece of this too, which I just want to take a quick second, is cross-contamination. Huge issue. And we fight this every day, right? If you want to say any pieces to that. I mean,
the buckets,
yeah.
Right? So think about a bucket. You take a bucket, you put chemicals in the bucket, maybe you mix some water in it, and then you take the mop that has been used, at least in my house, it's been used several times, right? You're not going to buy a mop every time you mop, and then you spread this chemical and water all over your floor, making it uniformly sort of hazy, but it'll smell like pine.
Right.
It'll smell clean. Maybe you throw some bleach in there. Who knows? And the smell of chlorine smells, like it's clean. And then when you're done, you dab that mop back into the water, and then you go and do your bathroom, and then
mm-hmm.
you pick up whatever's under the toilet seat on that mop, and you stick it back in the water, and you go and do someplace else. And when you're done, you just pour that mop water out. No one ever cleans a bucket.
Never think about the bucket. No.
Never clean about the bucket. So the bucket's got all this stuff that's living in it. This
biofilm
that's just living in the bucket, and the next time we pour chemicals in there, it becomes a little bit more resistant to those chemicals, right?
Right.
So the cross contamination in buckets is ridiculous. They've done studies on materials like cotton versus microfiber, and even microfiber was not perfect because sometimes that even filters some of the chemicals like quat, rendering it less effective. So we have to, as an industry, sort of recognize the the means of cleaning, the chemicals that are used, and we have to come up with some sort of way to ensure that there's less cross-contamination.
Yep.
Right? So what we did, we took a look at some of the top pathogens by market. We spend most of our time in healthcare. Healthcare, if you take the pathogens that keep our clinicians up at night, Jess, the APIC community, the infection prevention community, they're really concerned about some of the nastiest bugs. We're talking about C. diff, MRSA, C. auris, right? But you know what? When you take that same approach and you look at other markets, I fell out of my chair when I saw the top 10 pathogens for law enforcement. I mean, they're worried about Hep C, hepatitis B. They're worried about AIDS. They're worried about HIV and all these bloodborne pathogens. And I sort of scratched my head. I was like, how's that possible? Well, their market is they got to arrest people, and sometimes they have to rough them up, I guess, and put their handcuffs on and put them in the back of that car. And
God forbid it cuts them.
Yeah, who knows what they've left behind? Even if these cops are wearing gloves, they're still touching things, right? Yep. And then they touch their coffee, and then they touch their steering wheel, and then they touch their radio, right? So, but the point is, we took a look at the top pathogens in all these different markets, from corrections to healthcare to daycares. We looked at nursing homes, and then we looked at even recreational. I mean, we not just arenas and entertainment and education, but also campers. I mean, we can't drive down I-4 without seeing some sort of camping world, right?
Yep.
And all I know is whenever I camp, everything's always smelled and mildewy and musty and that sort of thing, right? I think every camper in the country should have some sort of way of using light to disinfect their, what do you call it, Tristan? A caravan, right? So what we've done is put a little chart here where we aligned the vertical markets with some of the pathogens that are out there. And this is not an exhaustive list. In fact, after about 5 or 6 of the pathogens, we're like, what about marijuana? Enterprise rental car was blown away when we were telling them that we can get the smell of marijuana out of their car. They're like, they spend hours trying to get marijuana out of their car seats. Kitchen smells. We have, like I said, whenever we cook cook some curry in our house, we have to open up all the windows because curry just it's pervasive. It's everywhere, and even the next day you'll smell the curry. And what's nice about UVC is that it breaks all that down.
It also uses no heat, no steam, no chemicals, no residual impact. It's just light.
It's instant.
And it's
instant.
And as soon as it turns off, it's safe.
So let's jump into Hermes. We have a couple of camera feeds here. This is a disinfection system. We've had to make some specific designs to accommodate those automobiles. You can't just slam the door on a power cord. So we have very specific power cables that we use for this. It does have a control box, and those bulbs are controlled to a very specific wavelength and 253.7 nanometers.
Thanks to our ballast.
What's that?
Thanks to our ballast.
Yeah, so our ballast and our bulbs are perfectly matched up to make sure we're delivering the exact amount of current to produce the exact type of ultraviolet disinfection.
And I do want to point out, the reason that's important is 253.7 nanometers is the peak of germicidal light.
That's right. So here's a picture of it. This is actually an early version where we had a shorter cord. Now we have a much longer cord. It's 15 feet, so we don't have to have that thing so close to the door. It's very fast, very efficient. You just stick it in there in the front of the sheriff's car, and then you go back about your business. It fits perfectly into a bucket. I actually have one sitting right over there. I could show it to you here on the desk. Here are the components. Okay, it's 4 bulbs, right?
35 watt.
We have safety built into it, so if someone were to walk in front of this light, it would shut off automatically. It's got a handle to not only hold but also hang. It's rugged and durable. You could kick this like a soccer ball. You'd probably hurt your foot.
We don't recommend that.
Yeah, but you'll notice the design. These really robust metal bars are actually very thin, so that we want to minimize the amount of shadowing. Okay, so we're going to do a quick demo. I'm going to go ahead and switch cameras. Over here, we've got it sitting on our what would you call that, hutch? Yeah.
Countertop.
And over here we've got it. We've got the camera.
So you can
on.
see my hand.
There's
real time.
Jess's hand. It's
Should I go ahead?
Very simple interface. Low, medium, high, and on. So we're gonna press these buttons.
And an emergency stop.
If you have to stop the thing immediately, it's imperative that you have a mechanism for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
The easiest way is probably to kick the cord out.
Yep.
Right. Or off. But that emergency stop is something that we want to make sure is available. So we're going to turn this on. It's going to take about 20 seconds to ramp up. This will give you time to place the unit, turn on the unit, and then get out of the way of the PIR sensors.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are. Again, the control box is on the left-hand side, and the lights will start turning on. And the lights, with the human eye, there aren't that. I mean, I can't really see it. We have it blocked for our safety, but they're pretty bright. But when you use a camera, they're extremely bright. So we tried to adjust the camera so you can see them. And that's all it does. You turn it on, and you leave it on.
And you leave it on. And we have different modes of settings. So if you are doing a short burst in a small back of a seat of a cop car, you can do it in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If you're doing something larger like a bathroom, small bathroom, you
so
might
how do you
need
know
the
this
15
is
minutes.
working?
Camera?
The dosimeter. How do you know
There's
that
another
this thing
piece
is
of it.
working?
It's a great idea. So we do have these things. They're digital dosimeters. For any of you UVC people out there, you have seen, I'm sure, the sticker cards that change colors. Difficulty with that is, number one, it's subjective. So the light's supposed to turn pink eventually, saying that the room is decontaminated. But there's no specific number, which is what these correlate to.
Quantitative, yeah.
Yeah. So we use digital ones. And there's a big index out there that you can look up. Don't take our word for it, but they read a specific number which kills a specific pathogen. In our company, we always attack the deadliest, hardest pathogens to make sure that everything else is killed before it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so we have a 5-minute, a 10-minute, and a 15-minute cycle.
Mm-hmm.
We also have another one that can leave the thing on quite a lot longer. That's a little hack that we have behind the scenes when we're doing our testing. And when you don't need to have a dosimeter, because the spaces that you're operating in, these compact spaces, like call it a helicopter cockpit,
mm-hmm.
or a ambulance, they're small spaces, and it's only going to take 5 minutes to totally disinfect that entire area.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the enemies of this is obviously shadow, so it's not going to get under all the mattresses that maybe a patient or someone being transported is sitting on. But the idea is that at the end of a shift, you would put this in the back seat of your squad car and turn that thing on. Mm-hmm. If you have time in between taking somebody to jail or whatever, you turn the thing on.
Mm-hmm.
If you have time after you dump the bucket out, mm-hmm. and put it back down the ground, and you want to run a 5-minute cycle to kill all that junk that's growing on the inside of the bucket. And I think that it's a small enough unit that you can put it just about anywhere, and you can put it on the ground, you can put it in the toilet. The actual toilet seat will hold it in place. You don't want to get it wet.
I mean, how many times before we go home at night do we nuke our spaces, our computer desks, where we're sitting touching everything all day long?
Yeah. And I remember I was telling a story when I first started. I had to work at someone else's workstation, and this person that I had to cover for used to eat at the desk, and there were so many crumbs in the keyboard,
in between,
in the keyboard. It was disgusting. So I think today's keyboards are a little bit cleaner and a little bit easier to because they're laptops, but man, be able to put something in there and at least disinfect it. I'm not going to be able to remove the crumbs, Jess.
Mm-hmm.
So this thing's going to continue going on, and if we walked over there, it would turn off automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll just let this thing go a little bit. We'll wrap up the PowerPoint here, and we'll see if there are
Tristan, you want to jump in and finish off with anything?
Thanks, gents. No, you're absolutely right. And the whole conception or inception of the Hermes product, and the reason there's a couple of points I'd like to make. Firstly, the actual design, the ball design, is the whole reason for Hermes is its rapid local disinfection. And it doesn't matter if you put it on its side, on its base, on its top, and that's the point. And it fits any kind of form factor. It'll fit and sit beautifully on a vehicle seat or car seat, for example. It will sit exactly as you said, Brian, in the toilet seat. As long as it doesn't go in the toilet, that's fine. It will sit in a sink. It will go into a shower tray. It will be able to deal with common problems. You know, UVC has a very strong effect on mold and fungus. So swimming pool changing rooms or anywhere, if you've got a rental property that has a damp problem, this can help to manage that. The second point is the construction of the ball itself is actually, I don't know if any of you watching are actually fans of SpaceX. As an engineer, I followed the recent launches. Well, they've been very innovative with the use of stainless steel. And stainless steel is a fantastic metal, high durability, high corrosion resistance, and very robust. And that's exactly what we've built the ball out of. We built it out of stainless steel, sandblasted, finished, and welded single monocoque construction for maximum rigidity. It's a really flexible tool. And you can use it where UV's never been used before. It's designed to be a trailblazer. It's designed to be a pioneering product and open UVC to people that have never considered it before. I'll stop talking now, hand back to these two seasoned veterans of broadcast, and if you need me, I'll chime in again. Thank you, gents.
Yeah. Well, thanks a bunch,
Thanks,
Tris. We have a digital dosimeter here, and I don't know if it captured me, but I walked over there to grab something, and as soon as I turned the corner, the Hermes turned right off. I do have another Hermes right in front of us, just to give you an idea of the size of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's light, it's powerful, it's robust. I think this one's been kicked down the hallway a couple times just to prove a point. Another way that we know that this thing works is there's an odor. When you walk to this side of our studio, you can smell it. It almost smells like burned hair or burned skin, and that is a natural sort of byproduct of blowing up pathogens in the air and on surfaces. We get that question all the time: is that ozone? It's not ozone. Ozone is actually destroyed by our light, but it is a side effect, and we call that the smell of success. Just like people would think the smell of bleach is clean, the smell of pine sol is clean. When we smell that, we know that it's just done its job. It's actually
blowing up pathogens.
Yeah, it's the smell of success. So I'm going to go back into the feed here and see if there's any questions. I don't see any. Chat. Yes, I can hear you. Audio is great. Okay, and Q&A. Here we are. All right. So the first question always is, where can I get those? Well, these Hermes units are available through Finsen Tech. You can just simply send an inquiry through our portal there on our website, and we'll get back to you with a quote. The price is $3,600. We also have a subscription model. That's it's actually a pretty good deal. I'll have to take that offline if you want to talk to me a little bit about prescription versus buying a subscription versus buying the thing outright. And who else can you get them from? Right now, it's only Finsen. We do have a couple of distributors that will make these things available. And next question is, what industry? What industry? Yeah, you can rent. That's a subscription model. It's not really a rental. It is a subscription. It's kind of like when you have cable TV. The idea is that if something ever breaks on it, if your router ever breaks with Spectrum, whoever you call Spectrum up, they'll send you a new one and you send the old one back. That's kind of how we have it set up.
Everything's covered by us. Yeah,
everything's covered by us. And if you ever just want to end the subscription, you send it back. So, but what we do is ask a 12-month subscription just to make sure that the thing is out there doing its job. All right, what are the time durations? Yeah, well, minimum 12 months, and then it just goes on. And if people want to continue on, they just continue to pay their subscription. So the the size, it will come in a box. It's a pretty sizable box because we have to pad the thing and make sure that it's all quality checked and whatnot. And we're looking at a bunch of other accessories to make sure that's a little bit more mobile, a little more, you know, whatever, handy.
Well, like we're saying, this is a new piece of technology. I think it's going to be really cool when it gets out into the market more. There's going to be more applications that we haven't even thought of. Other people are going to find ways that, hey, you know, I use it for this, and I think that'll be really interesting.
Have you showed Reagan this?
I have in my own house.
Has she given you any suggestions?
Oh yeah. Well, we have a dog, so there's a lot of.
Yes, you do.
There's a lot of
huge dog. It's more of a horse.
Yeah. So we've found a lot of applications up, even in just my own house. So.
Yeah, and I can tell you also with Karen, the suggestion she's offering is it would be great if you could just add this. And so we're looking at all these different options. You know, it's funny about the voice of the customer. The customers are never wrong, but sometimes you have to just finish your project. Like Henry Ford said, you can have any color as long as it's black, right? So at some point we're going to have to say this is what we have, and we'll move on. Otherwise, we're going to spend most of our time managing all those accessories. Heavy, you know, Mary, that's Karen. Is it heavy? I'm holding it up with one finger, so I'm saying that's probably more than a pound, but it's maybe less than 3. I'll have to get that exact figure for you. I have a nice scale that'll get that to you. And how do you change the bulbs? Okay, the bulbs. Just because I'm weird this way, I have a microfiber glove. You see this right here? This is a glove that can be used very easily to clean these things. If you want to clean the bulbs, you just get your hands in there and you can take the dust off of them. And to change the bulb, you simply take these clips off.
It's the same way as our Thor.
Yeah, so the clip comes off. This is a clip, clippy clip, clip. And then you simply pop the light bulb out of its socket, right? So it just slides out nice and easily. Okay, so these bulbs will last over a year. You know, they're rated for 9,000 hours, but they're going to last probably 16,000 hours. This is what the bulbs look like, and to push it back in, you just simply slide it back into its socket here, and it snaps right into place. Okay.
Yeah, for the record,
easy.
Brian, and just for the people watching, the 9,000 hours is the minimum guaranteed period of germicidal performance, so efficacy, and that is of continuous operation. So if you add up, you know, if you take 10-minute cycles and work that out into how many 9,000 hours that fits into, that's a lot of cycles, a lot.
All right, cool. All right, well, I have taken up a half an hour of your time. I am super happy that you joined us today. Please visit hermesuvc.com for more information. Jess, is there anything else you want to add?
Bring us some questions. Yeah, we're happy to answer them. We are the UVC experts. Tristan over there as well. Thank you for sitting with us today.
My pleasure. A great job, guys.